Take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty, so the time here is now 7:20 and we present to you our talk time. All right. So this is the Activated Morning Show. And in studio-ish is myself, Roleza, and Ari Shaw. Ari, just to do a sound check. Can you
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're here? All right. So Ari, what happened? Why you're not here next to me? You'd have to answer that, but why you're not here next to me?
I was going to make a joke. I remember people just take a lot of things seriously.
Yes, we make it
I have
many jokes over here.
nah, I ain't make the joke. Personal engagement. So good morning to all your listeners, everyone within the sound of my voice this morning. A pleasant Tuesday morning to you. A lot of stuff happened over the past 24 hours. I would say that a lot of news in the headline that we're discussing.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead, take it away.
I think it's important to note and I'm reading from IWN. SVG gets 50 mil more in loans from Saudi Arabia, and I think the key word that a lot of people miss when these large funds are handed down to the government are loans. Loans. There are loans. It's $50 million you have to pay back. So, Eyewitness News says the Saudi Fund for Development has approved a further US 50 million in loans to St. Vincent and Grenadines, taking the amount approved so far this year to US 66 million. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves said on Sunday that about 30 million of the amount will go to housing repair and reconstruction because, well, I'm reading his quote, because we haven't done all what is to be done in relation to recovery after La Soufrière, he said on WEFM. We have done it substantially, but we have more to do, and also to help low-income housing and Lives to Life program, house program across the country. Gonsalves said, who returned to the country on the weekend after attending the first Saudi Arabia CARICOM summit in, I don't know how to pronounce that. So yeah, he went on to detail how the money would be spent, but I don't know. I see it as a pro and con. I see it for the pros and cons. The pros are, yes, we get to help a lot of people. We get to help people who still haven't recovered from volcanic activity. Those in the Grenadines I see here who need assistance, and yeah, a secondary school in East St. George. Yes, he says he wants to build a secondary school in Brighton. Then he spoke about health facilities. So there's a lot of uses for the monies that were borrowed, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And the
I
year is
think.
coming.
Say that
We're about
again.
to find out how much we owing. The
No.
end of the year is coming. We're about to find out how much in debt the St. Vincent and the Grenadines really is.
Right. So this is the thing for me, right? I know I had a friend who once told me you can never get anything in this life without going into debt, right? Because well, I didn't come from money. So the point is that in order for me to achieve anything in life, I have to go into debt, which is, it's something that people generally try to avoid. But the thing of it is that you have to look at whether it's manageable debt, right? Now, I did listen to part of the press conference that the PM had yesterday. I didn't get to listen to it in its entirety. And part of it, he addressed, I guess, the same comments that we are making or the same thoughts that we have where we are hearing it's another loan, right? An additional loan. And he did justify it in terms of saying that, it's a way for the country to progress. I'm paraphrasing here, so nobody quote me directly. It's the way for the country to progress. The money that is being spent for quality purposes and all of that, right? But every time I hear that we have taken another loan as a country, I've always said I would probably like to be given the list of these loans, the amounts borrowed, the amounts that have been repaid, and the time when these loans are supposed to be up, right? Because it's one thing for us to say that yes, we are getting these loans, yes, they are for national development, but in terms of how much money that is being generated within the country, based on our economy, how much of this money goes back to the repayment of these loans? And this is what I've always been curious about. Um, is it a case where these where the money is being spent, are they absolutely necessary at this time? One of the things when I was reading the article as well, I always say that whenever we have like these big loans, I would like to see placed in them an opportunity for teaching a person to fish, right? And what I mean by this is, coming out of these loans, what opportunities are there for um, personal financial development? As I mentioned before, in I think in a discussion that we had previously, but it wasn't in relation to loans. It was in relation to prime. One of the things that I said at that point in time was that I wish that the prime program, or the concept of prime, or even something that facilitates economic development, entrepreneurship, promotes entrepreneurship. I would like to see monies, not necessarily government monies, but external funds put into a program such as this, so it could be a replenishing type of activity, right? Because the point of it is that we need to have money circulating within the economy. We also need to be able to have money, generating money that would bring in income within into our country as well. So whenever I hear of these big loans, yes, I'm all for social development. Yes, I'm all for persons being assisted. But I also would like to see in these big loans this teach a man to fish component, where, let's say, monies are allocated for entrepreneurship growth within SVG.
I
I know I
don't
said
know.
a lot. Sorry.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like it's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to these loans. Because if you remember, the Prime Minister noted that, the government, if the NDP decides to switch to China, switch the diplomatic relations from Taiwan to China, they'll have difficulty doing so because we owe Taiwan so much money. So is now this is going to be the case for Saudi Arabia, and who else? Who else do we owe?
That's it. And that's exactly why I said I'm curious to see the list of all who we owe, because I feel at this point in time it seems like my, well, grandchild or maybe great grandchildren might be repaying these loans.
Mm,
I know that part of development for a country has to do with maybe this generation sort of making sacrifices. It could be financial sacrifices as well for the development, the overall development of a nation. But the thing of it is that at this point in time, how many Vincentians can truly say that they are living um, happy in a sense where they are free of, well, you will never be totally free of financial burdens, but are you able to have manageable debt, right? Is the salary that you're making, is it enough to provide for your needs and the needs of your family? Now, I'm all for long suffering in terms of that development for our future generation. But what about us in the now? What happens to us in the now? Are we supposed to go through that long suffering just to look forward to what's going to happen maybe 40, 50 years from now?
I mean, when I look at it from that point of view, then I think it's necessary. But
Mm,
I'm still curious, and I really hope one of these news outlets give us the run by run and show us just how much money we owe and who we owe the money to, when the loans were taking out, when they're expected to be repaid, etc.
mm,
I think the US is also in debt, but the US has a large economy.
yeah.
So comparatively, I think it's very dangerous for us to be doing that. But I'm no accountant, I'm no finance expert. It just is concerning to me as a regular citizen
Mm.
hearing every other week, not literally, but hearing
Yeah.
often that we took out this amount in loans, we took out this amount in soft loans, we took out this. So it's concerning
It
because then
is.
we're not seeing I remember a few years ago there was a ceremony at Layu. The Layu what you call those centers? Community center?
Mm-hmm.
The community center, and I think at the time Minister Straker was saying, oh, we had taken it was more than $1 million in loans from Taiwan, in soft loans from Taiwan, to refurbish, renovate the center. I haven't seen those renovations. That was years ago.
And I can't remember where it is I heard this discussion, but someone raised the point once where what about tapping into persons who are here locally, who have money, who we can actually ask to we can probably get loans from? Do we look to persons who already have money, or we believe to have money? I mean, other persons would know, I would know, not working in the bank, not seeing their accounts. Whether or not we look to involve those persons in the areas of national development. Is it a case where every time we're going to need a loan, and it's always interesting the word that the PM uses in front of it, soft loan, as if somehow this I don't know, I guess it's supposed to appease you or make you feel a little bit better, especially when the
No,
interest
a soft loan is much different from a regular loan. So
yeah, I
it's
know, it's
important to
because they
point
have a
it out.
lower right, and they have a lower interest rate. But the thing of
Yeah.
it is that at the end of the day, all of these loans will add up. And
Yeah.
if we're not generating income within our society, if we're not we don't have significant areas of investment, we barely have manufacturing industries here, skills training, skills development, the whole push for entrepreneurship. Where is that? Where is this money coming from? Is it going to just be from taxes? And Ari, hold a moment, we have a call. Hi, caller. Good morning. Okay. Is it just going to be the money that government needs to repay these loans? Are they just going to come from our taxes? So I don't know. The economy needs to have some sort of economic boost at this point in time. I'm all for development. I'm all for social development. But I think at this point, for me, as a relatively youngish person, I would just like to see a bit more happening. Right?
Well, just left to be seen what will happen in the future. There's nothing else we can do at this point. The agreements have already been signed, but I'm curious to see what is going to happen. But the time now is 7:32. We have traffic talk coming at 7:35, followed by commentary by Sian Marshall. So yeah.
One thing I can always count on you, though, even whether near or far, is to keep me in check when it comes to the time. So thank you very much. All right, so we are going to take a break at this time and be back with Traffic Talk.
Attention shoppers! Get ready for a shopping experience like never before! Quartz is opening its doors for 24 hours straight!